All right. Okay, well, welcome to Sunday's meditation. Thanks so much for being here. And thank you for the people who are also watching online. Before we begin today, let's just focus on our motivation for being here, for showing up today, for choosing to be here to do meditation, and why are we doing that? So focusing on our compassionate intention to bring benefit to all beings, that whatever we do today, whatever merit or benefit that we gather by doing this practice, that we dedicate that for the benefit of all beings. So let's just take a minute to do that now before opening practice. All right. So again, our motivation before we begin any activity like this is so important because it really directs our actions. So if we start with the proper motivation, then it can direct how our meditation goes and how we offer it up. So we'll start with the opening prayer. So we'll do on here the 7-line prayer 3 times together. I'll put this up on the screen. Oops, that is the wrong one. Here you go. There you go. Okay, so we'll do it 3 times together. Organ yugi nu chamsam Pemage sarumpola Yasan shogi no drumne Pemajune shesudra Koryu kandrom mampokor Keki jesu dag druki Jinjilok shir sheksu so Guru Bema Siddhi Hum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pemage Sadam Pola Yasan Shogi No Drumne Pemajung Ne Shesudra Koru Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Jinjilop Share Sheksu So Guru Bema Siddhi Hum Organ Yogi Nucham Sam Pemage Sarumbola Yasan Shogi No Drumne Pemajune Jesudra Koru Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Jinjilop Shir Sheksu So Guru Bema Siddhi Hum. All right, so the meditation that we're doing today is called Shamatha meditation. It's as taught by Jetsama in her book, Stabilizing the Mind. So that's the text we're referring to. And again, each week we always cover the basics of what meditation is, how to have the proper posture and motivation for it so that we can do this throughout our week. So again, kind of refreshing on what meditation is, because we hear about it a lot these days. Meditation is the natural state when our mind is relaxed and stable and open, yet wakeful and alert. We do meditation because it does help calm our mind. It does help relax our mind. But the main point is really to create more spaciousness in our mind. We kind of think of our modern lives almost counteracts that spaciousness minute from minute. And it's hard to find moments of mental rest it's hard to find moments where we can really connect in with our breath and being present, to just actually be with the present moment. It's harder and harder to come by. There's so many things pulling at our attention, and it takes more and more intention or courage to do meditation and take the time to just sit down and do it. So meditation can help us balance our emotions. It can help us become less reactive. It gives us that space and that buffer between action and reaction. And on the path, it's very important because it's the first step to develop bodhicitta, which is the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So we can start by, whether we're in a chair on the ground, just having a straight spine. Traditionally, we do the right hand over the left with the thumbs touching in our lap like this. Or if you're in a chair, if it's easier, you can put your hands on your thighs. We have a straight back, almost like we have a string pulling us from the crown of our head, pulling us straight. It's not a rigid spine, but it's, again, lifted, and we're not hunched over ourselves. We're going to have our shoulders back and our elbows back. And again, we're relaxed and we're breathing naturally. So we're not forcing the breath, we're not counting the breath. We're just breathing naturally. And we're gazing down towards the floor, almost like if you're drawing a line from the bridge of your nose to the floor. We're picking a point on that line to rest our gaze. So we're not staring at the floor or the little speck on the floor or whatever it is. Just resting our gaze. So kind of just letting that rest there, not so intently staring. And again, we're breathing naturally. And our attention is on the breath. So that's where we're resting our attention. But it's a very, it's a subtle, not a gross attention. It's a very subtle attention on the breath. Like a feather gently riding the surface of the breath. So if our mind starts to wander, if our mind starts to think of certain thoughts or whatever, we want to keep bringing it back to the breath. So letting those thoughts go and bringing it back to the breath. Just like as we're inhaling and exhaling with our exhale, we just go. So this is a time to not go down the road with our thoughts, but to just return again and again to the breath. If it's very difficult, we can, imagine cutting the thoughts or throwing the thoughts out. If we feel like we're overrun with our monkey mind today, because sometimes it might feel very clear and sometimes we might be especially busy in our minds. And so in our gaze as well, if we're finding that our mind feels restless or we have a lot of things we're thinking about, we can lower our gaze and just let even less light into our eyes, which helps us relax the mind. And then if we are feeling especially tired today, we can lift our eyes a little bit and let more light into our eyes, which will help. So let's start with a little bit of shorter time together and just see how we do. If you're ever beginning, just starting off with meditation, it's really great to start with very short increments of time. So 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and just seeing how spacious we can keep our mind and if we can actually keep our attention on our breath. And then we can slowly increase our time. So we'll start with a shorter time and then we'll increase our time quite a bit and then return back to a shorter time. So let's start. I have my timer here. Let's start for 5 minutes. Okay. Starting now. also just want to mention too that the mouth also stays slightly open with the tip of the tongue at the back of the teeth. So again, we're breathing naturally, but just with a slightly open mouth like that, gazing down. can have, different types of distractions too when we sit down to meditate. Maybe we notice something in our body, like it's just feeling tightness in the shoulders, or we might be distracted by, again, our mental thoughts, um, reminders, things we have to do, or just our external environment. So whatever it is, kind of viewing it in the same way of just letting it go and returning to the breath again and again and again. And see how quiet we can truly get the mind. So let's increase our time. All right. All right, so we'll do 15 minutes together. And today we're focusing on the breath as as a place to hold our attention. But as you go about your week, or if you try this on your own, you can also have like an object be your, a place to hold your attention, like a flower or a candle or a statue. So you can try that on your own time as well. So let's begin again with a straight spine and returning to the breath. We're gazing downward to the floor, resting our gaze on that line to the floor. The tongue behind the front teeth, so slightly open, and we're breathing naturally. And let's begin. If you need to stretch or have some water. Let's see the time. So, if you are looking for more meditation resources throughout your week, we do have a YouTube channel that has a meditation playlist with all these different types of meditation and instruction and many different things to check out there. So that's on the Kunzang Pale Choling YouTube channel. Again, meditation playlist. So let's do another short time session, and then we'll do some closing prayers. Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll do some closing prayers, and I'll put them up on the screen. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I've accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I'll ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. Thank you all so much for coming. Good to see you again. Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for everyone who joined online. We do this every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, so we hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, every Saturday and Sunday, I meant to say. Thank you. Bye. See you.